good luck. Johlar is not happy about close spawning positions, nor am I in this game nowadays, as close spawning positions can spell very annoying games, but we'll have to see. Both players could do some trickery. In fact, Johlar could go for some crazy barracks play, whilst Magnum could go for a proxy. Yawning mid-sentence. And we do not have close by ground, but we have close by air. Magnum is going to be spawning as the orange Protoss to the 9 o'clock, and we have Johlar spawning at the 6 o'clock as the purple Terran. So close by air is probably a damn sight better for these players than close by ground. So cool stuff. And I'm just realised I'm sure I've got a Pokemon theme tune going on my stream, which is awesome. We love this. And yeah. So both players probably going to be opening rather standard. Wouldn't be surprised to see. I would be very surprised even to see any kind of cheese come out from these players right now, especially considering the fact that they are close by air. Although we could see. Oh, excuse me. Oh my god. How very rude. We could see some interesting potential Void Ray play from Magnum. I love Void Ray play in close by air positions. I also love to see some kind of like drops, maybe Hellion drops coming out from Johlar. And considering how aggressive Johlar has been with drops in the past 2 games, you know, that is something that could very well happen. And Johlar, ever so very wisely, placing his supply depot always on the edge and proximity of his base in order to just keep an eye on everything going on. I really like this play from Johlar, and once again I have to reiterate, I really feel that Johlar is better than Diamond. He's been playing very, very well in both these games, lots of drops going down, and you know, just playing very well in general. So Magnum going to be scouting out his opponent last, whereas Johlar actually scouting his opponent first. So despite the scout being slightly later than the other scout, you know, he's going to be in a good position indeed, getting that refinery, and it looks like a very, very similar build to the ones we've seen Johlar do in previous games, whilst Magnum is going for a very, very standard build as well. Whoops, almost fell off my chair. That would have been super cool. So now Magnum is going to be going for his cybernetics core, and you know, Johlar behind this going for a bit of gas. We're going to be harassing this lone barracks here, and again I would love to see Johlar go for that kind of tech lab. Indeed, he is. Oh, reactor. Oh, a reactor. Hey, this could be some early pressure. I'm not 100% sure, but it could be. As getting a lot of Marines out is very, very viable indeed. Maybe just getting them out in order to be able to do something more tech-heavy, we'll have to see. But at the same time, we do have a Stalker coming out and a Warp Gate research on the way as well for Magnum. And this SCV is dancing close to death, as, you know, surrounding that could have been an option, although not many players do that nowadays. And, wow, actually taking guys off gas. Just getting the amount of gas in order to be able to get that. And, oh, going for an expansion. Oh, my God. This is a very good build here by Johlar. I really like this. Going to have that reactor out in order to be able to just reinforce with a lot of Marines. And there really isn't going to be much Magnum's going to be able to do about this right now. Going for that second gas, a very pretty standard time. And, you know, just securing his natural here, Johlar playing this really, really nicely, I've got to say. Not putting guys in gas just yet. He's quite content having this lone barracks out and pumping out these Marines in order to be able to secure his expansion. And, right now, Magnum has no clue about this. He looks as if he's going to be going for some kind of 2-gate expand, which is going to put him slightly economically behind. So Magnum really needs to be able to scout the front here and check out what is going on in Johlar's base. Do you have a second barracks going down now, as well as a second refinery, and for Johlar, as well as a Stargate. Oh my God, a Stargate going down. Does he see the Stargate? I don't think he does. He does see the Stargate. Oh my God, it's just on the edge. That is ridiculous. So he knows that Stargate is going to be coming, and he cancelled the Stargate so wisely. Oh my God, Magnum, that is so nice. I really like that play. And now potentially there could be kind of like precautions taken by Johlar that he actually doesn't need, although he isn't really doing that much. So to prevent it, could just be getting more Marines out. But hell, that's what Terran does anyway. Gets lots of Marines out. Going to be getting a tech lab on that barracks, and looks like going for maybe some 3-gate pressure here after throwing down that Nexus, but this is a pretty well fortified front right now. An engineering bay is now going down, so maybe we'll see some missile turrets being committed to that he really doesn't need right now, as that Stargate was cancelled, and these Stalkers are going to look for an opening. I don't think they're going to find one though. Maybe just tickle away at that bunker, but it's really not going to do much at all, and Magnum at this point going to be forced to retreat. And yes, as we can see, oh my god, we actually have a missile turret going down and a bunker going down in the back here. The bunker's quite nice because he can salvage it again for the 75% and potentially reinforce with Marines if they, you know, the Stargate player did come along, but it's not. And you know, this missile turret is ever so slightly wasted just for now. The only thing that's going to be able to deny is the potential observer coming straight across, but I really don't think he's going to come straight across, as most Protoss players nowadays will end up taking a longer route in order to be able to dodge things like well-placed missile turrets. So now we have a Twilight Council on the way, robotics facility on the way as well, and actually, looking at this rally here, that could be really bad for an observer if it does come out. There's the observer on the way there. That's not too bad of a rally, as it is only, it's quite out of range of that missile turret ever so slightly, but at the same time now, a missile turret in the front, that's going to be great to deny any kind of DT harass that does come along, especially so close to that bunker, and Marines just looking around for anything that may be there, like the proxy pylons or, you know, proxy Stargate, which could occur, as that has been so common in Protoss versus Terran right now, especially in things like the GSL, and we'll have to see. I'm really worried as to whether this observer is going to get picked off by this missile turret. I really don't think it's going to, as he is looking at it now, and yes, indeed, does dodge that very nicely. Doesn't want to get that picked off. It's a bit of a pain, and oh, a supply drop here. So slightly slipping on the macro here for Johlar, although that being said, he's in a really good position in my opinion. What are these SCVs doing here? Oh my god, he's going to be going for maybe a little bit of a timing push with some SCV reinforcements. And this could actually be quite bad, considering that there's so many Marines. And oh, he could catch the Stalkers! And actually, this is a very good move here by Magnum, engaging those Marines very quickly with the Stalkers, as the Stalkers outrange them ever so slightly, just picking them off. Doesn't want to lose that lone Stalker, though, and he just loses a little bit of shields on the other one. So now going to be wanting to move his Zealots into front, and actually throwing down some nice force fields, and a good Guardian shield does go up, but there are a lot of Marines here doing significant amounts of DPS. But I really feel like this is going to be a push not worth it for Johlar. He does get cleaned up and forced to retreat eventually, and now these Stalkers are going to be like fending these off in full retreat, warping in a Stalker on the high ground, trying to take out a little bit here. Charge is now on the way for Magnum. And I've got to say, coming back to that, really clever of Magnum to be able to engage those Stalkers ever so slightly early, engage those Marines ever so slightly early with those Stalkers in order to be able to just get a few pot shots off. Very nice play there by Magnum, but at the same time we do have that factory already finished for Johlar, Starport on the way, and now the Stalkers are actually going to move in here, deny the creation of this command center potentially, and oh, a little bit close with those Stalkers. Nice force fields keeping those Marines at range, forced to pull off a lot of SCVs here, and this harass by Magnum is doing a significant amount of damage, taking out a lot of SCVs. A lot of these Marines are low on health. He really needs some medevacs in order to be able to compensate. And I'm losing my voice very slowly, but Magnum now actually doing a lot of damage there for very little cost, in fact. Now just come into the income tab now, both players pretty close together, and you know, a lot of Stalkers coming out once again, quite a bit of Chrono Boost saved up on these Nexus. I would like to see that spent ever so slightly, especially since he's hovering a little bit, 20 supply behind his actual cap, and we could see that come into play anytime soon. This observer doing a good job of keeping an eye on what is going on. That command center is now finished. Where is it going? It's oh, maybe he's going to use it as a wall. No, he's going to just plant it there for some reason. And now the Stalkers are gathering up in the front of the base for Magnum, and this is what this force direct on will be able to take this out. But the big question is that he doesn't have that many force fields. That is going to be a big problem. We do have Psystorm on the way as well as Blink. Maybe he's going to be warping in a few, getting some Zealots there. I would have liked to see some High Templar, maybe some Archons to do a little bit of tanking, but that's not going to be the case. Magnum is going to be walking around here trying to do a little bit more damage to this command center, and Johlar is slightly wary of engaging here, especially with these charge lots. One lone High Templar does come along. That's going to scare Johlar off. He doesn't know if Storm's out or not yet. And just coming back to the base here, Storm is only half complete. And it looks like your Magnum is continuing. He wants to continue to apply this pressure, but just wants to move back to his pylon here to be able to reinforce. Nice play by Magnum, once again keeping the Terran on his toes. He is ever so slightly ahead in supply, but ultimately Johlar is going to be doing a little bit of a drop here, and a lot of pylons as well as gateways going down. A third on the way now for Magnum, but at the same time this drop could do quite a lot of damage. There are no units here to reinforce. Do we have a warp in? We only have a little bit of a warp in, but he has warped in at his main, and another drop actually taking out the Twilight Council, which is a fantastic pick off there, but really not much else needed to be done there, as Blink and Charge has already been researched, and the big question now is, can he actually take out the Templar Archives? That would be a great pick off. Ghost Academy going down, doing a great job here of harassing on two fronts, but ultimately it's going to be denied by the Blink Stalkers of Magnum at this point. And Magnum doing a good job of cleaning that up, but a little bit of damage was done, and the third is now going up for Magnum. So, I mean, if Johlar actually can't do more damage, he's going to be in a bad spot. And moving around here with another medevac could potentially do a drop, could end up... Ah, look at that. All the way... This medevac is rallied all the way to the third here. So that could do a little bit of damage if we do see that end up happening. And... I always end up checking that if if a medevac is going around in an odd position where it's actually going. So we see more medevacs on the way, but at the same time we see quite a few High Templars. Oh my god, that is a lot of Storm. Magnum could do significant amounts of damage, and as we've seen in the past two games, he has been pretty damn proficient with those Storms. So, I mean, Johlar trying to secure his third right now, but this could be denied very, very easily by this force. There really isn't that much out here for Johlar in order to be able to deal with this. And, you know, he could be in a very, very bad situation. The Zealots are slightly out of position behind those Stalkers. Really needs to blink those Stalkers back in order to be able to do that. Nice Storm goes off there, weakening a lot of that force. These medevacs really don't have that much energy. And Magnum could be in a very good position. Although he's allowing those units to heal up, that is really not a good thing. And ultimately, that High Templar actually suiciding itself for a Storm. Not the best of Storms, but, you know, he still has a lot of Storms in this composition. Mobius Reactor now on the way. He really needs some Ghosts out in order to land some money EMPs on this force. And Magnum now is just in such an odd position. Going to be a nice concave here for Johlar. The Zealots are in a bad position, but huge Storms go off. And now Johlar is just, I don't know, he could take this. This is still a really nice defensive position here, though. Another nice Storm does go off, weakening a lot of those medevacs, and now the SCVs are forced to come out, and oh my god, Magnum could take the game right here. He needs to warp in more units. A lot of Zealots going to be warped in. Will he be able to charge in time? And wow, this could be game for Johlar. Magnum's going to be able to do so much damage here. A few supply drops here, and Magnum takes the series. Oh my